Yeah, obviously losing 21-17 to Toledo was very disappointing. Give Toledo credit; they played good and made more plays than we did, and obviously they really outplayed us in the first half and extended a lead that obviously was a little bit too much to come back from 18 points down. A really good team. We're all disappointed in the first half. Players, coaches, everybody. Defense gave up 3 scores in 4 possessions on touchdowns on long drives. Credit to Toledo. It's hard to drive the ball. We talk about all the time, hard to drive the ball and finish and get in the end zone. They did it 3 straight times. We had opportunities to get off the field, and they either made plays via the run, via the scramble, or via the pass. And again, they deserve the credit. We had situations, 4th and 4, 4th and 2, 3rd and 11, 2nd and 13. On all those drives, there was times where we got to make a play and force a punt, or at least force a field goal. And it's a lot different game going into halftime. Offensively, and same thing, talk about third down defense in the first half was all Toledo, and we didn't make the plays, and they did. Offensively, same way. We had opportunities on third downs. We had guys open on short throws, and we didn't execute. We missed a short throw. We dropped a short throw. So really, really hard when you look at the first half, and it was 21-3. It did not feel like a 21-3 game. You're down 18 points to a really good team, which you don't want to be down 18 points to anyone at halftime, but to a really good football team, you've pretty much spelled disaster. But I feel like it was a fairly even game because I felt like we could have extended drives on offense, and it was some self-inflicted wounds on our part. And then I felt like defensively we could have got off the field, and I know we can do it. So we regrouped at halftime. Obviously, defense made some adjustments. Coach Breek and the staff made some quick adjustments. And our kids showed a ton of resolve and a ton of grit and a ton of fight. And, we said at halftime, how's this going to go? Like, we know it went at Miami. Miami got us down, and then we just went away. It just got ugly, and that's the last time we had a scenario where we were down. I said, or we bull our neck and show everybody what we look like and what kind of football. We know what kind of football team we have in this locker room, but we got to go show some people right now. So we talk about getting a stop and a score. Defense comes out and gets a great stop. Cade does a great job on a short punt into the wind. And fields a short punt and sets up our offense. Our offense marches right down and punches it in, and it's 21-10. And then we said, stop, score, stop, score, stop, score. We'll be up by the end of the third quarter. That's what you're talking about at halftime. Like we'll have the lead going in the fourth quarter. We need 3 stops, 3 scores. Like we get in our stop, we're rolling again. Throw a ball that bounces off one of our guys, right in the hands of a Toledo guy. Again, self-inflicted wound. We had a guy open. We had the right read. Throw was a little behind, very catchable. Wasn't a great throw, wasn't a great catch, and that's what happens when you play a good team. They take advantage. So instead of, we were down inside the 25 with that catch, we're moving it again, and we're going to get points, at least 3, hopefully 7. We get another stop right after that, and then we marched right down, all right, and score a touchdown. So it was stop, score, stop, deflected, bobbled, turnover. That's killer, stop, score. We could have had a lead by the end of the third quarter, but it's 21-17. Then obviously right before, on the second down play, on the third drive, and we're rolling, and our sidelines thinks we're going to win the game at that point, and I think anybody watching is thinking we're going to win the game at that point. And then obviously Brett goes down with an injury. And it was not a good injury. We're not going to talk about what it was. There's all sorts of privacy involved here. But people on the field, our guys saw it and knew it was bad. It wasn't something you ever want to see in your life. Makes you appreciate medical people even more and more, that they can deal with that on a daily basis. Because I couldn't really deal with it on a one-time basis, and just being out there and seeing it. And so it took a little bit out of all of us. Took a little bit just to regroup. Anytime your teammate goes down and leaves the game, it's hard. But in that fashion, it was even harder. And again, the offense guys, particularly, who were right there on the field, it was really hard for. So we regrouped. Defense keep getting stops. We couldn't get one more score, and disappointed that we didn't finish it out in the fourth quarter. We had opportunities with the ball. Obviously, we have another turnover late when we're going to have the ball inside their 50 with a chance to maybe go down and get the winning touchdown. So ends up being, terrible day for Miami football with Brett suffering serious injury, and then obviously terrible day when we had a great opportunity against a really good opponent and came up just a little bit short, came up one drive short. So can look to the fourth quarter offense, can look to the first half not executing on offense and moving the ball, can look at not getting off the field on defense, can look at all sorts of things. But we did a lot of good things in that game. We didn't do enough good things in the first half. It was frustrating. The 2 turnovers again were extremely costly. Cost us 2 opportunities to score in a game. You're low scoring, low possession game. But Toledo's a good team, and some of it they forced, some of it they didn't force. So obviously, no one cares about last week's outcome other than that thing's done and gone. And we fought hard and we competed hard and we showed a lot of resolve and we showed a lot of fight and we showed that we're not going away even when we don't play our best. We're gonna regroup and play our best and make some adjustments and play our best. And then you're at OU on a Saturday and you get your quarterbacks out. So just the whole doom and gloom of that and oh my God, what are we going to do? And again, like I told the team yesterday, there's 100% would I like Brett to be on the bus going like you could say, well, it's no big deal. You're just next man up. I never got you. That's what it is. That's life. That's reality. But losing him is a huge deal. Like, and if you don't deal with that and like, because that's what kids are thinking. Like, if you just say it's no big deal, no, it is a big deal. He's probably with 4 games left had put himself in position to either win the Conference Player of the Year award or at least he's clearly was going to be, if he didn't win it, then, he was clearly going to be on the ballot with probably 2 other kids in the league that are having similarly really good years. But I mean, so you're taking that off your team. So to talk about and deal with it and get like, yeah, it's a blow. It's a huge blow. You lose your starting quarterback in the late third quarter of the 2 biggest week stretch of the year, and you're playing great football, and he's playing great football, and you shoulda, woulda, coulda. Think you would close if he's playing. You think you close it out Saturday. There's not too many people like Brett still is in there, but Brett still wasn't in there. So we got to find a way to close out. Then same thing this week. He's not going to be there, and we got to find a way to win a football game against a really good opponent at their place. And they're not. I'm sure they feel bad for Brett because there's good people over there, but I'm sure they're more than happy that he's not playing this week. And that's not. They're not crying that he's not going to play. I'm sure they feel bad, and I know. Their OC already reached out to me. I've known him a long time and wanted to text him. And he's a big fan of Brett. He's a quarterback guy. He's a competitor, and it means a lot. But I'm sure, they're not unhappy that he's not getting off the bus. So they're really good on defense. They've been one of the top defense country from week 1. They don't give up any points. They don't give up any yards. They don't give them any first downs. They got a really experienced group, and they've led by a very physical front and 2 linebackers that make every tackle. They got 2 Salapecs that are all over the field every down. Like east, it doesn't matter north, south, east, west. They show up at the football and they are running, hitting, and they're very aggressive and they do a very good job. They're very well coached. Offensively, obviously, they got best player in the league a year ago at quarterback, dominated our league. He's been there forever. He's really talented. He's one of the higher rated quarterbacks for NFL guys in the country. They got their O-line back, which is as good as any O-line in the MAC and better than just about all of them. And I say them and Toledo are the 2 teams that we face that have really super high-end O-lines up to this point. They got all their receivers back. They got their running backs back. They got their tight ends back. So they're a really experienced team. They're really talented. They got us at home. They got us licking our wounds. So it'll be a great, great challenge and one that we're very, very excited about. That we're sitting and going into week 9 with a really huge game against OU. When the conference schedule came out, I was hopeful that this game was going to be as impactful as it is. That was my, if things went according to plan, we were heading to OU, and you knew you had to win. It didn't matter what the scenario was, you have to win this game. Even if we came back and beat Toledo last week, you have to win this game. Whoever wins this game is going to have the leg up, So we're both sitting with 1 loss. Whoever wins this game with 3 left is up a game and have the tiebreaker, so you're up 2. So somebody's sitting in a pretty good scenario over their team. Buffalo's still sitting there at 3-1 too, obviously, that we both have to deal with. But as far as head-to-head, this is a huge, huge contest in the MAC East, and we understand it. they understand it, and they're going to have their best week, and we're going to have our best week, and two really good teams are, it's going to be like last Saturday, two really teams you're going to get after it for 60 minutes.
All right, questions?
Coach, have you talked to Brett? Any update on just how he's doing mentally, emotionally?
Yeah, it's tough. He's doing okay. I mean, he's doing this. He's one of the most steely-eyed competitors, so he's never gonna show a sign of weakness. That's not who he is, you know. And he's surgery did go well, so that was a positive. Not according to Doc Daly, who knows a lot more than me. He's seen the post-op stuff and feels like really, really, really good outcome so far, which is huge. But he's hanging in there. You know, he lives for these 2 weeks. He lives for Toledo, and like this is what the kid, you know, he lives for UC. He lives for Miami, Florida. Like he likes all the games, but this is what that kid is, you know. And he's sitting there, you know, even to hear we didn't win was a blow to him because he's saying, hey, you know, before that play we had him, you know, we're going to score there and we're going to keep scoring. Like, and I was going to be the reason. Like there's no way they were stopping me. Not, you know. So and then him thinking not getting on the bus on the road again with a lot at stake. Him, to me, this is what that kid loves, lives, eats, breathes. That's why he is who he is. So be tough, and it'll be a tough week for him, but we'll keep supporting him. And everybody has, our medical people are great, and like they always are, and everybody's been great as they always are around here, and they're just being who they are. People around here are incredibly supportive at Miami, and we love our kids, and we make sure it doesn't matter what the scenarios, they're going to know that we're there for them. So, but he's hanging in there.
Is he done for the year?
Yeah.
Coach, on Saturday you had mentioned that you thought Sunday's practice would be pretty tough. Just getting through, just, you know, moving forward. How was practice on Sunday? Yeah,
it's actually better. We did, you know, we talked about it, and you can't avoid it. It sucks, you know. So we talked about, you know, and we had a little positive news that the surgery late Saturday night, the surgery had gone well. So that was some positive news for the guys. But they talked about it in their individual groups too, and you know. Again, we took some time like we always do. It's because if you don't, it's in the back of their heads or in the front of their heads, really. And you're just like, everything's here. We just move on. It's what we do. And again, yes, that is what we do, and that's what we have to do. And the game is important. And this week is important. But just to move on blindly and act like we don't have emotions and things don't affect us as human beings. Now, how do we manage it? Well, there's no book like, what do you say? Well, the only people have said, I don't know what to say to you, you know. The same thing I'm saying to my team. Like, what do I say to them? What do I say to the Gabbards, Brett? What do I say to my team? Like, we all feel the same way, but the only thing we do is we do it together. That's how we get through tougher times. And when things happen that really stink, you find out who your friends are, and you rely on them, and you do it together. And you know, we got to support one another. You know, so we had a good Sunday. You know, I saw him last night, and first thing I asked, how are the guys today? That's it. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Just because he knows he's a big part of this, and he knows he's the battery, and you know what I mean? So I was like, hey, how? Because he's thinking, like, they better not be pouting over me. Like, that would be. And then we talked a lot about that, of like, if we have a bad Sunday, if Brett Gabber's sitting right there, he's like, really, he'd be pretty upset. Like, even on the sidelines, we talked about it. Like, it stinks, guys, and we're all feeling the same way. But if Brett's leaving that ambulance over there, what would, like, if we're over here pouting, feeling sorry for ourselves, like, and Holsky says, like, let's go, guys. Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's go. We're good, coach. We're gonna go. You know what I mean? And I was just thinking about, you know, it's like anytime you deal with anything, you know, it's like, what's the best way to move forward, and you think about the person and what they'd expect you to do.
What does the two deep look like right now? And also with Avion, I know you had mentioned earlier in the year, before we started and everything, that you felt like he'd improved a lot on the passing end of it, and the management, being able to read defenses by virtue of last year and everything. So how much of the book of the offense will be available to him? I know he didn't pass much at the end the other Saturday night, but how much is available to him and what's the two deep look like?
Yeah, it'll be AV and then Henry Hessen will be our backup, and then yeah, no, AV's been running this offense all year. He ran, you know what I mean, so things won't change much on offense as far as structure and all the stuff we're doing. This is, you know, you have a backup. This is what he's been repping all along. Then to just say, well, now we're gonna do something different than what you know what I mean. The best case scenario is he's really comfortable in what he's doing, and he knows he's been practicing all year. He hasn't played it all year, but he's been practicing all these things. So, and he's an improved thrower by a wide margin, and now he's going to have a chance to go out in a game and show everybody if he's an improved thrower or not. So it's a great opportunity for him. And we always say this, you know, I say every single time you have cold iron goes down, creates opportunities for him. I feel terrible for Jack. I still feel terrible for Jack. I see him every day, you know, but the guys that are getting increased opportunities, I don't feel bad for those guys. That's their opportunity, you know. So if has been preparing for 10 months, and he's been a great job as a backup, and now it's his time to go back in and be the starter. And obviously he's got some experience from last year, which is huge versus when he had to do it a year ago.
Other than Brett, how did you guys come out physically from Saturday?
Yeah, not bad. There's a couple other things that are, you know, a few other guys that we'll see how this week goes. That will be probably probably not game time, but probably later week decisions, see how they recover from some things. But it was a physical game against Toledo, and we're going into week 9. It's that time of year, so it's, you know, everybody's got to be ready to roll.
I guess going into the year, everybody would have been thinking about Ohio in terms of their offense, especially with Rourke coming back and everything. But it's been a little bit more of a story of their defense, especially. Is there anything that they've changed schematically on either side
Yeah,
of the
no,
ball?
they were again, rightfully so. Rourke got a lot of the accolades a year going along with that, gets a lot of the press. If you look at the statistics, the MAC statistics a year ago, they were one of the top defenses in the MAC a year ago. So, and they had everybody back. So they played really salty defense a year ago. Now, Rourke was putting up these incredible numbers, and it got it. Anytime you're good on both sides of the ball, somebody usually gets overshadowed by the quarterback. And last year, you know, this year obviously they play a slow pace. They don't have a lot of possessions in the game. So if a lot of times their games are a little bit lower scoring. So they haven't put up as much points, but they look pretty much the same on offense. They're very, very adept at throwing, very adept at running. So, but yeah, no, their defense was really good a year ago, and they got all those guys back, and they're just continuing to do what they did really good a year ago.
Everybody good?
The MAC championship game, I think they held Toledo to 13. I mean, it was a very low-scoring, salty game. So they're good. They're like just like Toledo, just like we are. Good on offense, good on defense, good on special teams. That's how you become one of the top teams in any league, and they're good in all three phases, just like Toledo was, just like we are. So it's going to be another really high-end tilt.